finally, we have our first game. And sporting in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the American Protoss player representing Alpha X, one of the best in all of NA. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Erik. Show us, Erik. Show us how to ZVP, because he does it like no other. He's crazy, Poppy. He's crazy. I love him so much. And we start things off with our 15 hatch as tradition, as to be expected. The standard opener for Erik. Beautiful. If he ever goes for a regular hatch first, then something is wrong. Something is horribly wrong. No boy. And already things are going to be popping off, and this is what I was a little bit afraid of. If you remember earlier on, I was talking about how Astrea is more willing to roll with the punches. Likewise, Astrea is opening up with a 2-gate opening. Ay, ay, ay. So a very aggressive start here by by Astrea. Looking to try and put his opponent on the back foot here. Walling off with that Cyber Core. And again, with this, basically this is going to be delaying our Nexus for a little bit. So Astrea is putting himself behind economically, but in favor of Adepts. We're going to be hitting across the map with 2 Adepts very quickly, very hard. Erik should scout this. He does have his Overlord on the way across the map. He will confirm the 2-gate opener. And he will be able to respond as well. This will be eating into his overall drone count, but he will have to respect this with Queens, with Lings. As we're just waiting for the Cyber Core to finish up, and then we can start up our Adepts. And this can get really out of hand really quickly in the hands of a player like Astrea. In a way, it almost feels like Astrea is trying to skill check Erik. Erik is just droning up happily back at home, confirms the opener with his Overlord. He even spots the Adepts as they move out across the map, or as they pop out. And the question is going to be, can Erik keep up with the aggression of Astrea? Because we don't just have 2 Adepts, we have 2 more behind it. Ling speed now on the way. Queen is in position to at least try and shoo away these Adepts. Looks like Astrea is just going to be waiting for the opportune moment, threatening a shade into the main. And behind this, Astrea is going for a Twilight Council. Okay, so again, just keeping on, piling on with the aggression, not playing standard. And again, the reason for my concern is because, as he doesn't shade in towards the natural, is that I feel like Erik thrives when his opponent plays standard. It's like me and Micah. Like me and Micah, he does so well when his opponent is just playing normal, playing like predictable, I should say. But here Astrea is anything but. The Adepts once again looking to find a way into the natural. So far they haven't done any damage yet. The boys are pulled. As the Adepts do consolidate their forces here at the natural base. Finally, a drone is going to be going down. Oh, only 1. Up. Now 2. Uh-oh. Oh, now 3. 4 drones in total. Nice target firing towards the end there by Astrea. Picking off that weakened drone. Across the map, we have the Twilight Council. We have pulled out of gas, or at least we pulled out of some of the gas. And this should be for Glaives, but we're going into... We're faking? +1 ship armor? Okay. I was very confused. An upgrade you don't see too often. It looked like he was trying to fake out Sky Toss a little bit there to Erik, but he does cancel it in the end, and there we go. Erik is going to be able to confirm the Robo and eventually confirm this Twilight Council. There is no Stalker to deny the Scout, only just now being warped in. Erik now fully aware that it's going to be ground toss oriented. Like, there shouldn't be a Robo here if it was a Stargate. More Adepts going to be warped in here as well. And Erik is going to be cutting workers here at around 40, going for the Roach War, and going for a double expand. Oh my god. I mean, his 3rd base is late, don't get me wrong, but yeah, he's going to try to make up for it here with some more larvae. With that 4th. here we go. This is going to be really interesting. This is going to be a 5-gate glaive adept. Usually we see 4 or 6, but we're going for 5 instead. Because why not? Because it's Astrea. Let's go. So this is very middle of the road. 6-gate is pretty all in. 4-gate is just, you know, pressure to expand. Of course, Astrea can transition out of this. Meanwhile, here we go. The Adepts are threading a shade in towards the natural base. They're going to be chipping away at the would-be 4th. 2 of them will commit. Again, great target firing. They get 4 drones. Oh, and that is going to really impact the economy of Erik. He didn't have a lot of drones to begin with. As Astrea is going for Immortals behind this, so it looks like he's going to be staying on 2 bases for quite some time. Oh, the Prism taking a lot of hits, is barely going to be able to edge its way out. Adepts threatening to shade in towards the natural as well, but we have so many roaches available for Erik. Oh, he doesn't spot the Adepts though, until now. And the thing about this Roach army is that there's no reason to move out if there isn't a 3rd base. Meanwhile, the Adepts, they shade in towards the 3rd to take down 5 of the drones already. Ugh. Erik sustaining quite a lot of losses here. At the same time, we have the Adepts shading in towards the natural as well. The boys are being pulled, but so many of them are going to be going down. Erik is being pulled apart as Roaches are having a really hard time keeping up as the War Prism goes into the main. 11 drones going down. This is soon to be game-ending damage here. I mean, Astrea is still only on 2 bases, so he doesn't have the best economy of his own, but he's going to be able to focus on the hatchery. Oh, God. Oh, he barely doesn't get it. How? 11 HP. The hatchery does survive. Erik knocked down to only 2 bases, or 2 base economy. And Astrea's not stopping. He's going to be sending his Immortals across the map as well. Erik is trying to get eyes on whether there's an expansion, but mate, there isn't. He's doing a better job here at splitting up his army, though, and keeping up with these Adepts. But the Immortals are going to change everything. Oh, God. We're just going to keep warping in wave after wave of Adepts. We did work up towards 6 gates, by the way. We are all in. And with this all in, it looks like there's just too much momentum going Astrea's way. The Adepts, the Immortals, the 4th base is going to be going down. At the same time, we have Adepts here at the 3rd. Trying to focus on another hatchery. Looks like the 3rd will be saved, so we will have that larva to work with. We do have a couple of Ravagers on the way. Oh, God, but there are so many Adepts. And at this point, they can even go toe-to-toe with the Roaches. Honestly, we don't even need these Immortals. The Immortals are the sugar on top. We commit to the shade. The Queens are coming forward as well to do what they can. They're trying to focus on the Prism. But the Prism does unsiege in time. Astrea just has too much here. Finally, he goes for his 3rd base behind this. Technically not all in Kappa. As we do have some nice target firing on one of those Immortals, we're going to try and get the 2nd Immortal as well. But what about the Adepts? So Erik has actually been trying to drone as best he can as well. The Adepts shade into the main base, and this is just too much damage. The Immortal goes down. Erik is trying to stabilize. But yeah, we can just keep warping in Adepts. I like the... What is the answer? Adept, Baki. Just Adept. All day, every day. Oof. And yeah, with this, the last handful of drones are going to be going down. Erik knocked down to 19 workers. And that hatchery that survived earlier won't survive this time. Oof. But yeah, really interesting start to the series here. Like for Astrea to go for a 2-gate opener into Glaives, into a 6-gate all-in with Immortals behind it. Astrea likes to be in control. Erik just had a really hard time keeping up. The first wave of adepts did so much damage to begin with, getting 11 drone kills. And finally, Erik is going to be able to calm things down, but look, we're on 2 bases. We're on 19 workers. It's not looking good. We have triple the worker count here for Astrea. That's 62. But you know, we have a dream. We have a nightmare, actually. The nightmare is adepts, but we also have a dream, and the dream is that we somehow come back in this game and somehow deal with this army. But Astrea is looking to take a lead in this series in game number 1, and the Immortals have arrived. And GG gets called. Astrea will take game number 1 in a very, very aggressive fashion. GG. Oh. Boy. I'm looking at the army count. I'm looking at the army graph here. Yeah. Initially, Erik was doing a great job at keeping up with the Glaive Adepts, but at a certain point, they did start to get out of hand, and it has that snowball effect. Like, we've seen it time and time again, not just with Erik, but with Dark as well, or with Solar, where once the Adepts start getting a handful of drone kills, then things can really start getting out of hand once we can't keep up with the Shades, with the amount of warp-ins as well. It can be difficult. Oh. Here we go, just letting the casters know what the score is as we get into game number 2. We will be joined by the likes of Pig. I guess Pig has ended his tournament run. I believe it was getting into Pig versus Creator, I want to say, or Nightmare. One of the Protoss players. Well, we'll see if we can bring it back here in game number 2 on Royal Blood. And spawning. Oh. There we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the American Protoss player representing Alpha X, currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. It is Astrea. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Brazilian Zerg player, one of our own, one of the CranKy Ducklings, looking to fight back in this series. It is Erik. And Astrea just doesn't stop. Erik's like, I just want the Protoss to play standard, papi. Let's go. And no, Astrea, he goes for the proxy gates. We see 2. We could even be seeing more. Yeah, proxy 4 gate. There's no gases back at home. No 4-leaf clover, but 4 gates nonetheless. Well, we have 3 for the time being. We'll see if we commit to the main and throw down a 4th. As Erik does go for the 15 hatch into the 15 pool. At least he does go for a hatch pool opener, so he's going to have a little bit faster access to lings initially to help with. But we're in trouble here. It looks like the Overlord of Erik is poised to scout this outside the natural, so thankfully he will get a little bit of forewarning. Meanwhile, gases are being taken back at home, so it is only going to be proxy 3 gates, not 4. With the gas, we can go into a cyber core, and we can, you know, add some complexity to the army other than just pure zealots. Oh, as Erik is going to edge on closer, and he will finally see the gateways. Oh boy. First 2 zealots are already rocking up here again. Astrea is embracing his inner NA quite well. It's how he plays. It's who he is. It's who he be. And honestly, this is what makes Astrea a scary player. You know, he's that much more unpredictable here in a series. That much more willing to clown it up. And already we have a couple of Zealots in hold position here in the main base. A couple more Zealots here towards the natural, but the Queen does pop out. The Lings have arrived, and we can get some mining going here at the natural. Honestly, really nicely handled here by Erik, dealing with the hold position Zealots quite well, you know, making the best out of a bad situation. Spinecrawler is on the way. Meanwhile, Astrea is transitioning. We do have that Cyber Core as well, so we can go into Stalker production or into Adepts shortly. Yeah, Erik from here is going to be able to drone up quite nicely. He's working on a second Spinecrawler as well to fall back to the main base if he needs to. Speaking of, we have banked up to 6 Zealots. We're going to be rushing on forward here. We're going to be trying to take control of the ramp, bypassing the Spinecrawler, going into the main, going for the Queens. Spinecrawler in the main is still not done. We have to fight. And with the help of the Spinecrawler, with the help of these things, it looks like Erik will hold on to the main. Nice target firing there by Erik as well. But now the Adepts have arrived. The Adepts are the drone killers for the time being, though. Do we get us around? Up. Oh, we get us around on one of the Adepts. And we get us around on the other as well. Astrea with a bit of miscontrol. Losing 2 of those Adepts, and now the pylon is under threat. This SimCity is working quite well for him, though, and yeah, Erik doesn't take the best fight. But Erik almost having the momentum here again. One Spinecrawler in each base, in each mineral line, going to be able to force this back. And Astrea, he's forced to throw down the Nexus. He knows that he cannot end the game. Boy. And I do worry a little bit. I mean, these Adepts, they're not the most fearsome because they don't have glaives, but even glaiveless Adepts can still two-shot drones. They can still focus them down. This is still going to be a very terrifying hold here for Erik as Astrea threatens him with these Adepts. Meanwhile, across the map, we still don't see any tech. We have another gateway on the way. Getting ready for when this will eventually be depowered. Adepts once again threatening a shade in towards the natural. Roach Warren is thrown down. Erik going to be looking to be quite aggressive himself once he breaks free. He doesn't want to take this line down. Up. And with the power of the Queens, with the power of the Spinecrawler, it looks like the pylon will be focused down. We'll be depowering all these gateways. Meanwhile, link speed is still on the way. Without it, we can't really engage with these Adepts. Nice chance used, though, by Erik. He keeps his Queens alive. And back at home, Astrea is going for a Stargate. Now wouldn't be a bad time to go into Void Race, to be honest. I don't want it, but it makes sense. Here we go, the Adepts are threatening a shade once again, but Roaches are on the way. We have the freedom to go for a Ling run by. Wreak a little bit of havoc. Maybe even force a recall. We shall see. Do we have a transfuse? Oh, looks like not quite yet. The Lings are about to rock up. The shield battery is still not done. We are forcing a warp in back at home. It is going to be Void Race. It's double Stargate. God damn it. God damn it. Adepts say shade into the natural. Ooh, very late reaction here out of Erik, and a lot of drones going to be going down. We didn't really have a lot to begin with. This is terrifying. The wall has been broken, but we have a recall back home. The Lings, they break in, but the Adepts are already here. Erik has to drone heavily right now. He has to try to catch back up in some way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, he committed so much into these Roaches, into these Lings, and he doesn't know. He doesn't know about the follow-up. He doesn't know that Void Rays are on the way, and with these Void Rays, the Roaches aren't going to do anything. Thankfully, there's only one Void Ray. So because there's only one, Erik can maybe bust down the wall and flood in with his Lings, but no, he thinks better of it. He will turn around. Oh boy. And yeah, from this position, Astrea's gonna have full map control. He can take a third base. He can double expand if he wanted to. Like, there's no way for Erik to really have too much of a presence because of these Void Rays. Erik trying to take his own third base as we speak. And, the clowning doesn't end, but we're not going double Stargate Void Ray. We're going into Oracles instead. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, because we open up with a Void Ray, there's no reason to have Spores. We're relying on Queens to defend, so these Oracles, they have a lot of potential. They're moving on now to Spores on the way at the natural base. Erik is in position with 3 of his Queens. It's going to be able to force them back. There we go. Good positioning here from Erik. He doesn't lose anything to these Oracles. Not yet. As behind this, we're hard switching into +1 and Blink Stalkers. So the interesting thing about this is that, yeah, like, Astrea, he's such a unique Protoss player here where, like, he shows some tech, and even though he invested into 2 Stargates, he's not going to use it. Because it was scouted here by Erik, it would be a little bit too predictable for him to try to pull that off. We're just going to be switching his tech completely. Boy. And we'll see if Erik can keep up with the tech switches of Astrea. Erik shows up. There is a ground army here. Sentries, Stalkers, Adepts. 2 more Oracles are on the way. Oh, God. Actually making use of those Stargates. Going up to 4 Oracles, maybe even more. This is scrambling my brain. We've got a Bay on the way. We're getting a little bit of everything here from Astrea. Just a little bit of everything. It works, Poppy. It works. And before that happens, the Oracles are looking to find some more damage. The Queens were a little bit idle. 6 more drones going to be going down. Only for hull damage. Astrea looking to come in from the right-hand side as well with 2 more of those Oracles. Looking to just out-control and pull Erik apart. Behind this, we're going into our Blink Stalkers. With the Bay, we can go into Colossus production or even Disruptors if we wanted to. Like, Astrea is in the driver's seat right now. Disruptors would make sense. Against a Ling heavy composition, we have seen a lot of Colossi instead out of a lot of our Protoss players. And there we go with our limited anti-air. The Oracles even go for the Ravagers. They get 1, they get the 2nd. Oof. Nice flank here by Erik. He's able to at least shut down 1 of those Oracles. As he queues up a stage trap, but it's not gonna finish, or is it? Oh my god, it does. Wow. The Oracle barely survived on 7 HP. Gets the stage trap, gets the Queen and the gas mining workers. And we are getting into Disruptor production. Disruptors on the way. Erik does have a standing army, don't get me wrong. And his army is pretty comparable to that of Astrea's, to be fair. Like, I know that we've been seeing Astrea do a lot of economic damage, and he has been, don't get us wrong. But especially in going for Disruptors first instead of Colossi, there is going to be a window here where Erik can make some moves happen, especially with Bathing Speed. Colossus production is starting now, but again, it was delayed a little bit. Here we go. We'll see if Erik can turn the tables and try and punish at least the 4th base of Astrea. See a revelation on the Lings on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, oh, the Void Ray. Only 1 Ravager, so it only takes 1 Bile to the face. Pushing into the 3rd is going to be a bit of a tough ask. The 4th is looking quite exposed, but again, because of the revelations, because of the presence of these Oracles, it's been so difficult to really pull anything off. And there we go. There are the stasis traps. Letting it run bys won't be able to do too much there, but Erik is looking to max out here. He's got more Lings on the way. He's stopped droning here at 65. He's going for the surround. The force fields. Oh my god. We lost a lot of Lings there for what? Like that would have been a big move if it wasn't for the sentries. The force fields shut them down. The oracles focus fire so many of these banelings. Oof. Yeah, and after Erik gets forced back, he is going to be droning. 17 drones on the way. A Spire as well. Not too sure mutas can work, but we're going to have that available to us if we want. And we'll see how we go here. The thing I'm concerned about is that Astrea has been turtling up quite well. He's now saturated on 4 bases. He's working on a Death Ball army. He's about to max out. And to be fair, I think Erik wants to take a fight on his side of the map on creep for a surround. That would be ideal, but this is still a terrifying force. 3 Colossi, we've got plenty of energy for force fields. But our Stalkers, our Adepts. And here we go. We even have stasis traps behind this army to fall back to. So engaging with Lingbane is going to be so difficult. Getting a surround is going to be difficult as well. And here we go. The force fields are thrown down. The banelings roll on in to try and trigger some of these stasis traps, and they will. Decent baneling connections here. The Colossi getting exposed. One gets focused down. The second barely gets focused down as well. But what about the Stalkers? The Gateway army is just a little bit too robust, a little bit too strong. Astrea is breaking on through. Lings are coming in to reinforce. This could be enough. There's only one Colossus remaining. The banelings do come in from behind, but the Prism Micro. The Colossus is saved, and it looks like Astrea just has a little bit too much here. Another massive Stalker warp in. Erik trying to buy some time here for some Ravagers. He's got 20 Lings on the way. But Astrea, again, just when it comes to the chaotic nature of this game, he was able to just capitalize. He does take down, or the last Colossus does fall. The Piles will take down the Prism as well, but there's still so many Stalkers. Oh, they're everywhere. Piles will be connecting, but the Lings, they trickle on in. They're being cleaned up. We have an aggressive Link on forward on top of the Ravagers, and the Ravagers will be focused down. Only one remaining. GG gets called, and Astrea will take the series 2-0. Oh, GG. Off of a pretty wild series. We started that game off with a proxy 3 gate as a reminder. Just forcing Erik into a really awkward position. By the time Erik broke free, he was going up against Stargates back at home, which kind of deterred any kind of Roach counterattack, which Erik was banking on. Erik, he had rushed into that Roach war, and he wanted to try and push out with Ravagers, with Lings. He's forced to change his mind, or forced to kind of shift gears. And yeah, congratulations. Congratulations to Astrea. As he does eliminate Erik from the tournament. Oh, that is the wrong chat channel. Okay. He does eliminate Erik from ESL Open Cup Americas and moves on to, I believe, the quarterfinals. Let's double check.